Now, I see this because, look, I'll be honest, I haven't looked into data centers in any big way. I just knew that something like that was coming about. It was so bloody obvious. If you look, when so many fine authors were trying to tell you, and even when you look at, of all things, what was it, the BBC? Blake 7. That first episode of Blake 7, which, by the way, try finding a decent version of it. All of a sudden on YouTube, that's not so much of a thing. While that sits there from 9 years ago, how many views? The quality's not that great. But I certainly remember a hell of a lot more examples on YouTube of that, where you got the first and the second episode of that first series of Blake 7. But remember, Blake gets judged by AI. Yeah, this was in the 70s. Seriously, the 70s. There's been a direction of travel. I would argue technology has been much more of a thing, just held behind the scenes for a very long time. It was more about the rolling out of it. And as I've said before, even when it comes to graphic cards companies, seriously, there's only how many companies? Oh, and there's third-party vendors, but it's the same chips. There's something, that's not ringing right, but, I mean, it's certainly controlled, yeah. But yeah, honestly, when you look at where we are now in regards to digital ID, and we are being told by the day about AI, and people are embracing it by the day. And now, I mean, look, honestly, how many vids have we seen of late where you're like, you can tell at the moment, but how long's that a thing? And it goes towards this technocracy and being drawn into from flesh and blood and common sense to why won't you want to live forever in a, in a grid, in a hub? It's part of, because you've been told long enough through sci-fi, suspense of any animation, suspended animation, the aspect of, hey, as we go into the future and people become smarter, beings, you can avoid death. Just, right, okay. And you're in, you've seen it in Alien, you've seen it in so many sci-fi, it's not just about the rowing boat leaving the ship. It's like, hey, you'll be freeze-dried until you're, somebody finds you. It doesn't matter how long it is, don't you worry. And people want to embrace this, but there's no gardens involved in this. There's no houses. There's no anything that humanity's embraced for thousands of years. It's pods, and it's, this feeling, but somehow you're more intelligent, and this is something to be embraced. This is it in every aspect. This is anti-life, and there's so many vids I would have loved to. I mean, even this one is probably pretty shit, but I mean, I have tried so many times to even upload a vid, and you look at all this. And what we are being sold about sci-fi is none of it actually, when you think about it, none of it is any good. And yet we're constantly sold that enlightenment is based around, technology. And over time, everything is about just destroying anything organic. It is, when you think about it. Which yet again goes back to that hideous strength. Seriously. Again, I'm making no sense to most people, but as I said, that I'm astounded at how many people just won't even read basic books. Honestly, just in the comments, how many people have read That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis? and I'll speak to you soon.